HR department. I am going to help you with the interview. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. Nice to meet you, Angie.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I want to know about you. I want to know about your hobbies, everything about you. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay. First of all, I would like to tell you that when I was a child, I was born in a small town that was called Gama, Cundinamarca. The main economic there was the agriculture and livestock. So I have worked with animals and plants all my life because you're surrounded of nature, um, beautiful lakes, plants, animal crops, and so on. Also, when I used to be a child, I used to help my parents and grandparents doing all kind of activities. For example, I really like to help them to milk cows and sheep. Moreover, I weed some plants and I really like to harvest because I loved eating all the kind of fruits that my parents saw in the farms. With later, when I was younger, when I entered the high school had a contract with the Sena. So the Sena came from Bogota to teach us all about agriculture. So I have a lot of knowledge about illness, fungus, plants, and also about lands. We don't mention that every Friday we went
Okay,
out. Okay.
perfect. I know that the Sena is like a school or something like that in Colombia, right?
You're right. The Sena is an
Okay.
interesting institution because it is practical. They teach theory and at the same time we practice.
Okay, perfect. So you had the opportunity to practice this kind of work in the past.
What did you say?
Did you have the opportunity to practice at the Sena something related to agriculture?
Yes. As I said earlier, when I was in the high school, every Friday we went out to make practice. We visit a lot of farms of the neighbors.
Okay, perfect. And now I want to know why should we hire you?
Okay. Something Okay, why to Harry is a kind of question because all the farmers are strong people, they are resistant, and they are good persons. But something that describes me is that I am a person who is quickly. I solve problems very fast. So if you have any problem in your farms, I can give you a lot of solutions.
Okay, perfect. This is the right things that we are looking for. We are looking for someone willing to help and to do the job rightly. So, why do plants need pruning? Do you know?
Okay, it depends of the kind of plants that we are working with. For example, if we are working with tomatoes, the plant of tomatoes, we need pruning because we need that the nutrients go to the fruits and the fruits get bigger and bigger. Also, sometimes when the trees has a lot of leaves, the light of the sun can't touch the land, and sometimes it saves a lot of water and it generates a lot of fungus and it can kill the plants. So that is one reason we need to eliminate the branches and to allow the sun to touch the land. If, for example, if the plant is an herbage, for example, like the blueberries, it allows to give more branches and give more fruits.
Okay, well, perfect. I see that you have a lot of experience working with plants, and that is very good. And Okay, let's move on to the next question. I have a question for you. Explain to me what are your weaknesses regarding the fruit picker.
Okay, my weakness is that if I have a coworker who is working with me and this person is lazy, this person is going to delay my performance. Because if that person starts talking to me, I always access and I start speaking. So this is something really bad for me. Um, Furthermore, I am a person who sometimes when there is a lot of sun, when the weather is so hot, it gives me headaches. So sometimes I have to take 5 minutes of relax and start working.
Okay. Now, I want to know some of your strengths regarding fruit picking.
Strengths, okay. One of them is I am very strong.
Can
I
you hear me?
can, yes, I can hear you perfectly. One of them is that I am person very strong. So I can take up heavy things. So there isn't any problem if you have to carry a lot of buckets of fruits, I can do it. If you have to transport a lot of products to another place, I can do it. Another thing is that I am a person who learns very quickly. And as I told you, I have worked all my life in the countryside. So I am a good fruit picker because I'm very fast. Let's see. And something that I have learned from my parents is that we have to be always motivated and focused because sometimes we get stressed when we work for hours, for days, and we don't see any results in the farms because sometimes there are tasks that requires a lot of times. And when the people do the same thing for 1 week, 2 weeks, they get stressed and they are going to uh, losing the performance. So it's important to be focused, always positive, and start working. That's it.
Okay. Now I want to know something important because we are looking for someone that plan to work with us with for a long time. So we want to know how long do you plan to work with us if we hire you?
Okay, I will be working with you for around 4 years until I get graduated because then I'm going to start working in another profession. But something that is taking my attention right now is to learn a lot of about Canada, what methods the Canada use in the farms, what pesticides, because I have learned that Canada don't use pesticides that are dangerous for our planet. So this is something that it has taken all my attention. Another thing that I want to learn from you, and for the reason I want to take a lot of time, is because for the salary and because you offer to the workers, to the farmers, a good security and health. And also, I want to learn about the machineries because Colombia, we don't have an advanced technology, so the farms are so traditional. But I want to learn how these technology are used in the farms. I want to see the irrigation systems. I want to see how the people use drones to fumigate and this kind of stuffs.
Okay. Now I want to know if you have any plans, midterm plans or long-term plans. Do you have any kind of plans?
Yes, I have. Okay, my big plans is to learn as much as I can working with you. And at the same time, I hope to work in different crops because, you know, each crop has different techniques and ways to work. So I would like to work with you with blueberries, with apples, and if it is possible, I would like to work with beer, that they are very good and they are so famous in this kind of area. Um, my long term is when I get graduated, I want to work as a teacher. However, I don't want to stop working and studying about nature and agronomy. So I would like to take a short course of agronomy in the future. And
Okay, that is
first, I would like to be like you. If I have the possibility to sow some plants, I would do it.
okay. That is very important because we are always like training people, new hires or new employee in this area. So it is very important. Yeah, it is something that I'm going to take into account because it is interesting that you have future plans or to be a teacher. Maybe you can in the future you can apply to a different position, for example, as a trainer. Um, it is a good thing to take it into account. Now, I want to know if you work well working under pressure.
Of course, believe me that a farmer is used to work under pressure because I have worked under a strong raining, under storms that it is very terrible. There have been days in which I have been so frozen and I have still working. I have had terrible boss who is choring all the times and they say like, hey, work faster, hi, you are, and these kind of things. So yeah, I know to work under pressure.
Okay, it is another thing, important thing to take into account because we try to keep a good environment. However, sometimes you can feel under pressure because you know that we work for plants and this kind of business needs sometimes is very sometimes can be stressful for some employees, but I want you to know that it is not going to be stressful always, but sometimes it can be stressful. So you have to be prepared for this kind of situation sometimes. Okay, now I want to know what do you know how did you know about this company? Did you hear something or a person, someone about this company?
Okay, actually, in the official page of Canada, I was searching for jobs. Then I found an interesting company that was applying thousands of people who live in another countries, specifically in Latin America. So I investigated and I have listened that you have hired around 200,000 of people in 1 month. And you will have been hired around 1 million of people for the next year. So you are a big company. I have listened that the salary is very good. The bosses are good people. And also you pay the transport to Colombia, I'm sorry, from Colombia to Canada, and you give the hotel and the food. So believe me that this is something value for people who work in Colombia. This is too much.
Okay. Are you planning to continue your studies and training regarding fruit picker?
More or less. I would like to study more about agronomy and animals, but I don't plan to study 5 years to make a career like that. I just want to learn from experience. I would like to talk with old people, with peasants, because the old people believe me that a person who have worked all their life with the farms knows too much, a lot of than an engineer agronomy. the people, the peasants are very smart. So I would like to visit them, talk to them, and learn from them. But something that I'm going to take some books and I'm going to dedicate a complete career with this, no, I'm not going to do it.
Okay, that is very important that you be honest with us. However, as I told you, we are always training our employees because it is very important that you have a, a knowledge about what is currently happening. So it is really important to take into account. And the next question that I have for you is describe to me the position of fruit picker that you are applying for. Do you know something about this position?
Okay, the role of the a fruit picker is just to be faster and to be resistant. This person have to have, and this person has to be so energetic because this person for 8 hours he have to be faster, moving all the times. He have to move the hands and to be quickly walking. He have to be stand all the time. So this person has to be so lively if if he or she wants this position.
Yeah, that is true. And now I want to know why do you want to work with us as a fruit picker?
Okay, as I said, you are a big company and you give hot. I mean, you pay the transport from Colombia to Canada. This is something very good. And also you give the hotel, the food, the salary is good. And I think that they can save a lot of money since they don't have to pay a hotel or a monthly apartment for living. So I can send money to my family, I can save for my studies, and if it is possible, when I come back to Colombia, I can sow my own crop, my own business. Or if it is possible, I would stay in Canada and I work as an English, Spanish teacher, while at the same time I try to be a boss about farm. One day I would like to have a farm like you.
Okay. And why did you decide to apply for this position?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
Yeah, why did you decide to apply to this position? Why did you decide to apply for the fruit picker position?
Okay. I want to experiment a lot of things. I want to learn from all kinds of things that have to be with the nature. In Colombia, I have worked with tomatoes, with pears, with potatoes, with corns. But right now, I want to go to Canada and I want to work with blueberries and apples, and if it is possible, with pears. And why? Because uh, there are a lot of difference between West Country and another because the strategies and the methods are completely different. And that's
Okay. Okay. And what can you bring to the company? What kind of values or skills you can bring to the company to perform this position?
okay. Sometimes the attitude of a person can change all the environment. I'm a person who is very happy, positive. I like to work, so I can motivate my coworkers, my the people who is working with me to work faster. So this is something that all the people has appreciate of me. They always say, "Hey, I like to work with you because we work fast and we don't get tired or we don't get stressed." Another thing is that in Colombia we have traditional methods, something that perhaps Canada don't have. So I can teach to this company traditional ways to avoid illness, insects, or fungus because we have our own ways to make the things, the traditional things.
Okay, perfect. And do you have any questions for me regarding the position or something that you want to know about the company or the in general?
Yes, there is something I would like to know. Uh, I have listened that this work is going to be longer just for 6 months. There is any possibility that they can work another 6 months?
Well, yes, it is possible. It all depends of your performance because, as I told you, this is sometimes it can be difficult to work for with plants. You know everything because you have the experience. You have worked in this kind of jobs, and you have the you know that for some people it can be difficult to work with these plants and everything related to the job. We are looking for someone that work with us with a for a long time, for more than 6 months. However, yeah, it all depends on how you perform the job, how you we are going to take into account your punctuality, the way that you work. If you are responsible person, it is something very, very important for us. And we are going to take into account the all the things about how you work. So yeah, I can tell you that it is possible. However, as I told you, it all depends on you.
Okay, I have another question.
Okay.
Um, how you are going to pay, I'm sorry. I mean, you are going to pay the
To
hours
pay?
we work to pay. We are going to pay the hours we work, or you are going to pay the baskets of fruit we gather.
Well, we have different kind of payment, uh, but I think that it is going. It depends on the fruit that you work for. For example, the amount of plants that you work for, it depends on your salary, and it also depends how many hours you are going to work, yeah, during the week, because you have to choose one shift. I don't know if someone told you that we have shift in the morning and at night. And of course, if you work at night, you are going to earn more money because we have to apply nocturne shift payment. And yeah, it is going to be something that we have to talk deeply because it all depends the hours that you are going to work during the week and the amount of work that you have during this shift.
Okay, and the last one. We are just going to be a fruit picker, or we have to do another activities. For example, I don't know, we need to fumigate the plants, we need to weed it. There are other,
Okay.
there are different tasks, different from harvest.
Yeah, that is correct. The main task that you are going to have is, of course, the fruit picker. You are going to pick fruits, different kind of fruits, but sometimes we have to have the employees to perform another kind of activities, for example, cleaning or the plants and pouring the plants. Yeah, but the main task that you are going to have is that you will have is to pick fruits. It is the main task that you are going to have. But of course, if you, for example, want to assist your coworkers, you can do it. And there isn't any issue if you want to work for more hours than your schedule. But as I told you, it all depends of you, the time that you are going to have available, and yeah, the
Okay, thank
activities
you very
are
much.
going to be available. Yeah. Okay, John, we have finished the interview. I don't know if you have any other question for me.
No, I finished. That was
Okay.
everything.
Okay, Joan, it was a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for your time. We are going to have maybe an interview in the future about uh, other things that we have to take into account to apply to this position. So I am going to be in touch with you in a few days. So please be very please have your phone near you because maybe we are going to contact you via email or phone. So it is very important that you have the ability. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so
I'm with
much for
you.
your time.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Mm.